Let us now discuss what is useful work. Now, if you look at this diagram in which you have a system, okay, so initially the system volume is V1, okay. So if the system volume is V1, you have a certain boundary for that system. Now, all of the work that, let us say, the work that is done by the system is W. So this is the work that is done by the system. So all of this work that is done by the system, it is not available for delivery, because a certain portion of this work is spent in pushing out the atmosphere. So this is what is happening in this particular diagram. So the atmosphere is being pushed out, or you can say the surroundings are expanding. So initially the volume was V1, the final volume becomes V2. So you have a new boundary that we call a final boundary. So this is basically the expansion of system, or you can say expansion of surroundings as well. Okay, the pressure of the surroundings is P naught, and the temperature of the surroundings is T naught. Alright, now if V1 is the initial volume and V2 is the final volume of the system, okay, then the work done on the atmosphere during the expansion would be P naught into V2 minus V1, which is an expression which is a part here. So this is nothing but the work done on the atmosphere during the expansion. So this is work done on the atmosphere. Now atmosphere or surrounding. So that is P naught into V2 minus V1. So if we have to define what useful work is, well, useful work is defined as the actual work, or you can say it is the difference of the actual work delivered by the system and the work performed on the atmosphere. That is this particular thing. Okay, so if you have to define it, useful work is equal to actual work done by the system, actual work minus the work done on the atmosphere or surroundings. Okay, so this is what the definition of useful work is. Now, if I take this mathematical expression and explore it a bit further, so useful work, which is WU, is equal to actual work minus P naught into V2 minus V1, isn't it? So let us say this is equation number 1. Now if I have to find out the maximum useful work, then maximum useful work will be WU maximum, and this is corresponding to the maximum actual work, and this would be minus P naught V2 minus V1. So this is equation number 2, and this is for the maximum useful work. Okay, now if I write down this particular equation in differential form, so in differential form I would get dW U max is equal to dW actual max minus P naught into dV. Okay, so this is one equation which is in differential form, and this differential form is for this equation. Okay, now if you talk about a steady flow system, okay, if you say we have a steady flow system, now in a steady flow system there is no change in volume of the system. This means this quantity would become 0. So for a steady flow system, the maximum useful work is nothing but the maximum actual work. So this is a criteria or a condition for, you can say, a steady flow system. Okay, so there is no work done on the atmosphere. So let us give it a sentence or a definition, that is, in a steady flow system, no work is done on the atmosphere. On the atmosphere. Okay, so that is why P naught dV is equal to 0. But if you have an unsteady flow open system or a closed system, okay, so now let's take the case of unsteady flow open system, or you can have a closed system, any one of them. Okay, the volume of the system would change. So this means dV is not equal to 0. Alright, so when a system exchanges heat only with the atmosphere, the maximum useful work then becomes, you can rewrite this particular equation, you will get dW useful, okay, and it has to be a maximum value, is equal to dW max minus P naught dV. So this is the equation that is true for an unsteady flow open or closed system. Now, if you remember the maximum work output that we derived from for an open system, okay, so if you substitute that value here, so it would become dWu max, okay, this is equal to dm1, let's put a bracket, okay, h1 minus T naught S1 plus V1 square by 2 plus G into Z1 minus dm2 into H2 minus T naught S2 plus V2 square by 2 plus GZ2. Alright, and minus the energy increase of the system, that is d of u plus P naught V minus T naught S plus mv square by 2 and plus mgz, and this is for the control volume sigma. Now if you look at this value, I have brought this value inside the bracket. So if you look at this term P naught V, this is nothing but the opening up of this, that is d of P naught V. So I bring this term inside the bracket. Okay, so if you might be wondering where did this term go, so it is over here. Okay, now this expression that you see, this particular expression, this is the maximum useful work for an unsteady open system. Okay, so let me write it down again. So this is for an unsteady open system. So you can note down this expression. Now what if we have an unsteady closed system? So for closed system, we know that there is no mass inflow or outflow. So I will say that dm1 is equal to dm2 is equal to 0. So the first two terms would become 0. So in this case, the maximum useful work, it reduces to only this, plus P naught V minus T naught S plus mv square by 2 plus mgz of the control volume sigma. Okay, and if you might remember that this portion, that is u plus mv square by 2 plus mgz, so these three terms, they in a combination are equal to capital E, that is the total internal energy of the system. So this can be written as, for the closed system, as dWu max, okay, is equal to minus D. So these will become E plus P naught V minus T naught S for sigma. Okay, so if you rewrite it, now this is the differential form. If you write it for the whole system, then it becomes WU, that is the useful work maximum, it would be equal to E1 minus E2, okay, plus P naught into V1 minus V2, and then you have minus T naught into S1 minus S2. So this expression or this equation is the equation to find out the maximum useful work done for an open, or you can say for an unsteady closed system. Okay, now if you neglect the kinetic energy and the potential energy changes, then this value and this value would become 0. So E is equal to U, if you remember this particular thing. So let's rewrite it. So neglecting the kinetic energy and the potential energy, you can say that U is equal to E. So this particular expression becomes WU max is equal to U1 minus U2 plus P naught V1 minus V2 and then minus T naught S1 minus S2. Okay, so this is another equation that you get. Now let us put this equation in a red box. Okay, so it is quite an important thing to note down. Now if you remember the availability function for a closed system, that is phi, and this was equal to U plus P naught V minus T naught S. So this is the availability function that we did in our previous videos. Availability function. Okay, so if you look at this particular equation, you will find your availability functions. So if you rewrite this, you get WU max, so U1 plus P naught V1 minus T naught S1, U1 plus P naught V1 minus T naught S1 minus you'll have U2 plus P naught V2 minus T naught S2. So this particular term and this particular term are nothing but phi 1 and phi 2. So you can write down the maximum useful work for an unsteady closed system is nothing but the difference of its availability function. Okay, so this is how you find out the useful work. So this was the video in which we analyzed and derived an expression to find out useful work. So the important formulas to remember. So this is the first one, that is the you can say the maximum useful work for an unsteady closed system. Okay, and then you have this particular expression. So this is not of very high use, but you can still remember it, that is for an unsteady open system. Okay, and then for a steady flow system, this is the case, and then the basic definition of the value of useful work. So this is not a very difficult portion of this subject, but the only thing that you need to remember is the concepts that you have learnt in the previous videos, because we are carrying forward the same concepts in these videos as well. So I hope you understood this video and you were able to recall the concepts of availability function and the equation that we used over here, that is this equation from the previous videos on availability. So this finishes this video. In the next video, we talk about a topic which we call dead state.